Hi friends, welcome to Joy Fido International. So as always, we've got something exciting for you, and my name is Joy Fido, so welcome on board. So what are we going to talk about today? Before we go into that, let's review what we do again. We always say to you, let's start thinking. So let's start thinking gives us that opportunity to change things, to start dreaming about things, to start planning, to start questioning more. So what are we thinking about? Thinking of how we can create a better world, how we can create a better life, how we can improve on the life that we have. And you know what's really interesting, I started reading this book which I talk about all this time in my recent videos, The Biology of Belief. And one of the things he said, which is quite interesting, is we have to keep growing. That's the most important thing. You know, he says one of the most important role of the human body is protection and growth. So protection is, we need to protect what we have, the body we have right now. And so where do we need to protect? To protect ourselves from worry, from fear, from anxiety. When things are when we feel we are in an unhealthy environment, when we feel that someone is about to destroy or he calls it toxic environment. So we kind of like, the human body kind of like automatically protect itself. And so that's one of the roles we play. And then we also play the role of growing. And so when you hear growing, this is what we would naturally typically think about. Oh no, but I'm over 18 years old, especially for women. Why should I still be growing? So we're thinking growing means growing taller or maybe growing bigger. No, growing is getting better than yesterday. So in one of the videos I've explained that we shouldn't be looking at other people and saying, oh, I'm jealous of that person, or I'm envious of that person, or I wish my life was like that person. What we should be aiming for is, how can I better my life better than yesterday? How can I make what I'm doing now better than I did yesterday? And so this is where things like practice makes perfect. I know some people say it's not just practice making perfect, but imperfect practice makes perfect. So you see, some of us will dwell on perfection. We wait until that thing is perfect before we do it. And everyone advises us, don't wait till then. Don't wait till everything is perfect before you do it. Just start doing it. Because as you're doing it and not getting it, with time it will get better. That's why they say imperfect practice makes perfect. So perfection does not exist. It is practice that will create that perfection. It's not something that you just wake up this morning and everything is perfect. And I always remind us about, when you started working. It's not that first day the child knows how to stand that the child walks. It's not the first day you got on that bike that you knew how to ride a bike. It's not the first day that you got into the car that you knew how to drive. So it was with continuous usage. But what is the topic today? The topic today is unleash your creativity. I love this topic. It just hit me out of the blues. Because when I say unleash, when I say out of the blues, it's not like, oh wow, look, unleash your creativity. I'm just usually in that mode where thoughts are just flowing through my head, and like I always say, God speaks to me, and I'm sure He's speaking to you as well. But what happens most times is you're not listening. So this is what part of what we're trying to empower us to do in this channel, is to allow that still small voice to speak to you so you hear Him talk to you. because it's constantly talking to you. I get people asking me, I never hear God speak to me. Thoughts are coming to your head constantly. That's why I say let's start thinking. Thoughts are always there. Constantly, they don't stop flowing through. But like I've explained in most videos, the minute you engage your mind with anger and worry and stress and anxiety and fear, when all of those things take over your mind, being the negative energy you expend, then the positives don't come. So if you let go, just relax yourself, and yes, these things have happened, like Eckhart Tolle said in one of his books, The Power of Now. Just live for now. Live for now. If something has happened in the past, let it go. Let it go. And I did attend one of those workshops where the man explained, be grateful for everything that's happened in your life. I know there's one of the messages I'm going to be bringing that talks about that. Because everything that's happened in your life is what's led you here. But if we not dwell on the negative things, if these things didn't happen, you wouldn't have been stronger enough to deal with today. So that's why it is actually a blessing when negatives happened. So you look back and say, okay, it happened, but you don't allow it to rule your today, because if you do, what happens is you destroy your tomorrow. And that's why the Power of Now says, live for now. Because if you worry too much about yesterday is gone. You can't possibly change what happened. And then tomorrow you don't know. So focus on now. But the unleashing your creativity, why it's so exciting is, it is something that I want all of us to start thinking about. So if you notice, in most of my videos, I'm just changing looks and changing outfits, changing my hair and changing my makeup. That's all my creativity. That's who I am. I can just sit and think, oh, what if I wear blonde hair today? Or what if I wear blue hair tomorrow? What if I wear purple hair? And then you find that lots of people nowadays, then they get the tattoos and they tattoo all their body. That's creativity. You may not like it. I'm not a fan of tattooing, but that's their creativity. And so, especially in the hair industry, which is why you see me able to play around with hair as well, it is such a creative place. And when I have students come here, which is one of the things we do here in our training, this is our home training pack, especially with hair. Over 30 DVDs in here, and I keep hearing of people asking me, where can I get it? Where can I get it? We have it on a website called worldofbraidingdvds.com. worldofbraidingdvds.com. We'll put it in the description box. So I always say to my students, be creative. I mean, there's a star right now in the industry called the Fulani braids, and there's so many new names nowadays. I can't think of them right now. But these styles are just changing by the minute. And that's because someone is thinking. It's because people are thinking. Pineapple braids. There's one that's so interesting. I can't think. When I remember, I'll mention it. So these styles are there, but that's all down to someone's creativity. Or people's creativity. So they take it left, they take it right, they take it to the middle, they take it all over the place. That's just creativity. So while you're unleashing your creativity, this can be used in any industry. Any industry can be creative. And that's the power all of us have. Every one of us. We have that power to be creative. But in order for us to get ahead in life, we have to learn to be creative. So what's creativity? It's just changing something about what already exists. Changing something about what already exists. So I take you again to the hair industry where I train people to work with hair. What I say to my students is just know how to braid. That's all you want to learn from me. Know how to braid. Because the minute you know how to braid, you can play with that skill. You can go with the blue hair, purple hair, green hair, pink hair, blonde hair. You can change it around whichever way you like. You can cut the hair. You can blow dry the hair. You can color the hair. So that's creativity, and that comes with you. No one can teach you that because that is already inbuilt in you. And so the message here is about guiding you to unleash it. Release it. That's what unleashing means. Release it to the world. Because your ability to redesign, which is what creativity is, redesign anything that exists. And that's what we are all hoping for. That you will start dreaming in such a way that you're able to turn anything around. To touch up what already exists into unique things. I mean, there's so many CDs here that I listen to, which helps me to think in that kind of line. Just the same way I created my CDs, that's how all other people have created their CDs. You can see here a pile of different ones. This is just a little bit of what I have. And one of the ones I have was talking about how to, especially with marketing, once you've got your business going, how do you market it to your audience? Once something has been redesigned, it becomes new. And redesigning is in all of us. So, what are we trying to redesign? We're redesigning what already exists in different ways. Different colors, different shapes, different textures, different designs. So all of these things makes that thing look different. Now, the exciting part of it is everyone sees things differently. And that's why there are no two of us. The way I see something is not the same way you see it, is not the way the other person sees it. So that's why creativity is in all of us. Because, I mean, for instance, when my clients come here and you can see I love colorful things. And I love colors and bright colors and sunshine and all of that. And someone says to me, I just want color one. I don't go saying to them, oh no, you shouldn't be having color one. You should have color 23 or 27 or whatever. No, I don't do that because I understand that everyone is different and they see things differently. But see, that's a power that you have. That power of you seeing something the way you see it. Because once you see something in a different way, there are people who will see it that same way. There are people who will love that. And suddenly, you've been able to add value to life. We've talked about everyone having a message. And so your message now becomes that unique thing that you've added to what already exists. And this is quite interesting because one of the messages the Science of Getting Rich tries to tell us is our mind is an endless fertile ground which can dream up anything at any point in time. So it's limitless. And whenever I think of that, I get really excited because that's the creativity in us. You can just go to sleep now and wake up and come up with an idea. Oh my gosh, I was dreaming and I came up with it. I actually had that yesterday. Because for instance, we get all these wigs and then and there was a particular one I had, and every time I wore it was flat. And I saying, because yes, we get the ready-made wigs from China, because I don't sit down and mess around with the one they've made. And then I get my homemade wigs or handmade wigs, the ones that I'm again teaching people how to make their own wigs. And somehow I uniquely prefer my handmade wigs for reasons I can put whatever volume I like in it. I had one of my students, both of us, we work with wigs a lot. And her clientele love really lighter wigs. We have what we call density in the wig industry, and her clientele will be looking at 120 density. And most times when we get the ready-made wigs, they are usually 120, 150, and then 180. And I'm looking for 180, but obviously they charge you more the higher you go for. And because of that, I prefer to make my wigs because I can put whatever volume I like in them. So this particular wig I had is one of those, and it's actually 150 density, and I still think, oh, it's too light, I want it more. And guess what? I woke up this morning and the idea that came to me was, what if you blow dry that wig, you give it volume? And I thought, oh my gosh, why didn't I think of that all along? And I did it, and it worked. Because what came to my head was, by now Caucasians usually generally have flat hair, flattish hair. And then of course you get these volumizers and you put in there and you blow dry and they get big hair. If that person loves big hair. So the idea was like, what if you do the same thing with your wig? And I thought, ooh, let's try. It worked. You see, that's what the science of getting rich tells you. Your mind is an endless, vast array of land that can have any idea that you plant in it, and you can germinate that idea to reality. This is why I never look at anyone and envy them. This is why I'm not jealous of anyone. Because I know that it's all down to me to dream it up. It's all down to me to think about it. It's all down to me to allow myself to think. Hence I'm here sharing my knowledge with you. Let's start thinking. Because if you get in the mode of understanding what some of these books try to teach you, you'll never be in that position where you're looking at somebody and feeling, that should have been me. Because that will never be you. You have something great in you that you haven't really bothered to access. That you haven't decided, you know what can I do with that thing that God gave me? That power that I have. That creativity that's in me. So when I'm talking about this creativity, somebody like Steve Jobs, I had to buy his book. I'm like, okay, I'm curious about this guy. I want to read about him. Steve Jobs stood out. He made iPhone what it is. And I've watched a movie on him too. And this man was different. He never sat down in a boardroom and followed every rule. His way of doing business was break all the rules. Because he felt if he had to do what everybody else is doing, then he's going to repeat the same thing everybody else has. And what would have changed? Now look at iPhone and look at the rest of the phones. They don't have the same anything. Because Steve Jobs refused to follow the rules. And that's the same thing we all need to do. In my tourism course, and I read up on Virgin Atlantic, Virgin, group of companies. And that's the same thing Richard Branson does. He doesn't believe in following the rules. There's one of his books that he said, screw business as usual. He doesn't believe in it. Richard Branson will go into businesses that he knows nothing about. Because for him, when he goes into that industry, he wants to shake everything that exists. He wants to give them new ideas. Apparently, he was one of the first people when he set up his Virgin Atlantic that introduced entertainment in the planes. Why? Because he was in music industry or entertainment industry, Virgin Media. And then he got into, the airline business. And everyone then was laughing at him. I'm like, what do you know about airline that you're going into airline? And he thought, okay, I'm going to surprise you. And then he thought about it. He said, you're going to be traveling to, most of his planes go to Florida. And he goes, but you're going to be in the air for 6 hours, 7 hours. What will you be doing? I know what to do. I'll keep you busy. I entertain you. And so he then go artists, various artists. When he started, he used to actually have physical artists sit in the plane and sing for people. And then he now brought in movies, and people sit back and relax and watch a movie, because by the time you're traveling and you want to just relax and watch a movie, you don't even care how long the plane takes. I mean, one of my favorite things, I love long distance travels. And when I'm going to China, like hours and hours, and one of my friends was like, I don't understand why you love traveling and sitting in the plane for so long. I say, I actually enjoy it, because I could be watching one movie to the next, to the next, to the next. And I didn't even know how time flies. And when they're telling us we're nearly there, I'm like, we go some more, because for me it's fun. Richard Branson thought about that. And then all the other airlines joined. So you breaking the rule, you following what is already existing, and you introducing something new is what creativity is about. I remember when I started the hair business. And then I remember then attending some meetings, and this group of women was like, oh, but what else is new about hair? Hair has always been there. What's new? I knew people were already braiding. I knew people were already, most times they used to have a scenario where you go into the salon to learn, you know, what they call apprentice. And I thought, I don't want that. I want to see you in a classroom. I want to take you through every step. I don't want you to sit with me for 1 year, 6 months. That's what people do. People come here 10 days, they've got it. Normally what we do is 1 day a week. So 10 weeks you've got it. And these are 10 different things. So we equip you in such a way that by the time you go out there, you already know what you're doing. You are doing it, and we encourage you to practice it, because you're going to get it. There's no way you will not get it if you keep practicing. So now that changed everything, because you're looking at what already exists and changing the way it is done. So unleash your creativity. Look at anything you enjoy doing and start something new with it. So, I've mentioned to you how I love, looking at the African food. African food has always existed. It doesn't mean there hasn't been. It's always been there. But what can I do that will make it different? What can I add? What can I change? And this is where it gets really interesting, because you then hear people go, I hear that all the time, but again, most of the books I read says to me otherwise. Oh, the world is coming to an end. Oh, the way the world is, oh my gosh, things are getting worse. It's going to... But you see, no. You know why? Because all we have to do is to continue to be creative. To continue to be creative, because the more creative we are, the more we reinvent things. It's all about reinventing it. And God said it, world without end. World without end. That's his plan. After, I think it was Lot, or was it, no, not Lot. Who was it that he sent the rain for how many days? 40 days or so. Noah. And then he then promised that he wasn't going to destroy the world again. The Bible says that. You see, you and I will not be here for that long to say, let's wait and see the world come to an end. No, we don't know. We're not God. But he clearly said that he wasn't going to destroy the world again. So world without end is part of the prayers we make. Because things will keep reinventing. Things will keep reinventing. So this is such a powerful message for you to get the message that you need to reinvent whatever you have an interest in. Whatever you have an interest in. Look at it in a different light. What can you add to it? What can you take from it? What can you just think of all the different creative ways you can play with an idea. And this brings me again, the usual place I will end up going, Africa. Because we have a lot in Africa we can reinvent. And that's why I never see poverty in Africa, because to me there is none. Whatever poverty we hear in Africa, it's man created. It's mindset that's creating it. When there was a time, I remember a time when someone said, I can't remember if this was Nigeria. Nigeria is now 200 million people. And somebody said, oh my gosh, that's 200 million mouths to feed. And I said, no, that's 200 million people to sell to. Oh, what do you know? I said, that's the truth. If you're a business-minded person, how do you see statistics? Statistics is, think of a service you can give to these people. I mean, I live in the UK and, as at the last time I checked the population, 63 million people. Maybe it's gone slightly higher, 65 million. And that's the number of people you're serving compared to 200 million people. Or even out of that 63 million or 65 million, those of us who are black who probably have some stake, something we can give to our people, are 1% of that, or maybe tops 2%. And all of these 2% are mostly based in London. And so if you don't exist in London, what are your chances of accessing your clients? Or if you don't go online, even when we go online, we then get people who say to us, this is us slightly like an hour away from London. One of the people who called me yesterday was like, I'm most slightly away from where I used to be, and my clients now say I've gone too far. Yeah! 40 minutes away from London, and people say to me, you're too far away. So if you're thinking of accessing this little 2% who are based in London, and they're telling you you're too far away, where is your business? But this is Nigeria with 200 million people that are all the same color as you and have similar needs. And now do the maths. I know one of the events I went, and the man, every time he says, it's a no-brainer. Do the maths. Do the maths. Do the maths. And this is why most times when people sit here in the West and want to moan about anything, look at what's happening in the US. Go back to where you came from. Go back to where you came from. This is where you do the maths. If you're a business-minded person, this is where you do the maths. Where can I access people more? Where can my service be of value to people? Where can I contribute more to lives? We don't just stay in a place for the sake of it. That's what the same programming we keep talking about. Oh, everyone is rushing to UK. Let me go UK too. Because everyone is going to UK. Everyone is going to US. Oh my gosh, I have to be on that plane going to US. Everyone is now going Canada. Oh my gosh, I'm going to get my visa now. I'm going Canada. What for? This is where you question more. This is where you start thinking. When I get to US, what will I be doing? What value would I add to the system? There was a magazine I read once. I think it was about Africa Now or one of those magazines. And it said the mistakes we Africans make, we hop into that plane and we run to this Western world, Europe, UK, whatever. And then we're hopping because we think so great about ourselves. Oh, nothing is wrong with thinking great. We're hoping that as we arrive at the airport, there should be a red carpet thrown on the floor and welcoming you. Oh my gosh, we've been waiting all our lives to have you come over to us. But that's where we make our mistakes, because no one cares. That's a big message for you. No one cares about you. As you arrive at the airport, that's when they're not giving you grief. As you arrive at the airport, that's when they're not giving you grief. They don't care about you. They don't care. There is nothing new that you are bringing to the system that they've been waiting for, that as you arrived, this is when that thing is going to come. I remember years ago when I got to a point where I said, you know what, I'm actually going to leave Uganda. I'm going to the US. And then the first thing the man said was, as you're coming, the only way you can make things easier for yourself is if you're introducing something new that does not exist in the system. And I thought, I knew what I was planning on bringing was going to be something different, but I thought to myself, do I really need this? So if you're living in Africa, if you're living wherever, it's not about just chasing for the sake of chasing. Oh, when I get there, I don't care if I have to be a cleaner. Lots of people do that. I don't care if I have to drive taxi. It's better to drive taxi in the US or UK than go and drive taxi in Lagos or Cotonou or whatever. You have more to offer your people than offer to people who don't need your services. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. That's the truth of the matter. So if we start thinking of being creative and introduce, when we say inventors, people who invented new things, it's all these inventions that has helped the world become what it is today. If Mark Zuckerberg did not invent Facebook, would we all be sharing our little secrets to the world today? Our pictures, our selfies, look at me, I'm on holiday in so and so place. If he did not do that, would we be doing it? No. If there was no Instagram, would we be Instagramming ourselves? No. If there was no Snapchat, would somebody be Snapchatting or WhatsApp? You can call anybody now in seconds all over the world and you can talk to each other easily. So people are thinking. And we need to join. We need to join in the creativity. We need to be part of life by introducing things that will be of benefit to ourselves. I know, like in Nigeria, which sometimes makes me wonder, the kind of things you will see us go and imitate and introduce are things that are really not beneficial. We'll look for the most ridiculous of things and we'll go and introduce it to our people. But what if we introduce things that are more beneficial to ourselves? So these are some of the things that I want us to be thinking about. And when it comes to being creative, it takes a lot of risk. It takes a lot of risk. And taking risks is one of the things, again, we struggle with as a people. Because we don't want to be the ones who made that mistake. You see, you cannot achieve anything without making mistakes. We've talked about that over and over. The child who learned to walk by falling down several times, the person who started driving by practicing over and over, or riding a bike, or even starting a business and it didn't make sense, and start again and it didn't make sense. Risk takers are what we need in life. People who are willing to try something new and not worry if it's not going to be perfect, because they're going to learn from it. So that's what I want you to start thinking about. Because everything we have started from somebody being creative. This hair was somebody dreaming it of. Dreaming about it. Oh, there are lots of women out there who don't have hair. What if I created a wig and she could wear and have all the confidence she needs? Or there are the ones who have hair and sometimes want to look different. There are the ones whose hairstyle may not be what they want at that time, and so they can have something that just make them stand out. Because there was a time I had this client come around and he was going on about his wife and saying, "Oh, I don't even know why you guys wear it." And I said, "But listen, think of you wearing a cap. A wig is just like a cap, only it's got hair in it. And so if today I felt like wearing blonde, oh yeah, I'm wearing blonde and I love it. And tomorrow I'm wearing black, oh, I'm wearing black and I love it. And next tomorrow I'm wearing pink or blue. That's part of creativity. And then, and next time I'm going to just show my hair. That's creativity. Allow yourself to be free. Don't lock yourself in a box because there are people who say, that's not allowed. What is wrong with it? And I'll tell you why. What is wrong with it? You need to ask yourself, what is wrong with being creative? Now, as Christians, think about it really long and hard. The whole essence of life is creativity. God created the world. God asked the sun, go up. Asked the moon, go there. Told the seas, go here. All of these were creation. Then God created man. You see that? You are part of creation. If God has said, you know what, I'm okay now, I'll be the only being that exists and let there be nothing there, would you even exist? You're part of creation. And then he created all the animals and all the ants and all these birds in the sky and the flowers in the garden. All of those are God's creation. So when you look at nature, you see God at work. You see God at work. And like I always try to remind us, then he said to man, go ye and multiply. Go and multiply all these things that I've already done. Go and add more to it. And there's one of these men, very interesting man. His name is El Nightingale. He's Redefining El Nightingale. And he told of this story of this man who had this garden. And he had walked on this garden. It looked amazing. And this pastor was driving around in the countryside and saw the garden, and he couldn't drive past. It was so amazing he had to stop and look at it. And was just enjoying the look. And so the owner of the garden came and saw him admiring his garden. And he says, and as the man was coming near, he said to the man, wow, God has been amazing to you, given you such a beautiful garden. And the man said to the pastor, you should have seen this place when God gave it to me. It was in a state. I did all the work. Do you get the message? Everything we have with us are all God's creation. He's given it to us. But what he wants us to do now is do the work. Hence, my friend, when I said I was replying to him on something on Facebook, and he said, what we do now is we want God to be our servant. And I said, how come? Because we all sit down and pray and expect God to do everything. God has already given us everything. He's given us dominion over the earth. And this is one place I want you to really think about. Because apparently, again, I read a lot, apparently, earth is the only place where human beings, us with the flesh and blood, this is the only place we have dominion over. These are facts. This is the only place we have dominion over. The Bible tells us. Because when you read in the book of Job, when this whole thing was going on between God and this, Satan telling God that, oh, look, the only reason Job worships you is because you've given Job everything. Apparently, all these things were happening in the spiritual realm. And there's a movie I love to watch, Doctor Strange, and he goes from one realm to the other and one realm to the other. So the only realm we can be powerful and strong and everything is here on this realm called earth. So if you're waiting, this is what lots of people do. Lots of us will do that. I would do nothing. I'll just sit here and be poor. I won't add any value to life. And then I'll die. And when I die, I'll just sit on the right hand of God. Hello? How do you know that? How do you know that you're actually going to be sitting on the right hand of God? When this is the realm where all your power is. This is the realm where you have dominion over everything. This is the realm where your creativity is at work and you have not used it. Do you know the lost opportunity you're going to have if you don't use your opportunity to be creative now? Let's not wait. Let's not wait until that last minute. there was a picture I saw on Facebook recently, and the man was lying on his deathbed, all skeletal, and then the message was, say what you want to say now to your loved ones before it's too late and you can't lift your middle finger. And I laughed. I didn't even know what it meant. And my husband was saying to me, oh, you know how we lift middle finger and call people names. That's what it meant. So now tell your loved ones, if you love them or you want to give them the finger and call them names before it's too late. That's what's happening. Let's not wait till it's too late before we can start dreaming of being creative. Because the capability is in all of us to be creative. I mean, one of the ones that I really enjoy watching is Nigerian music or Afro music or Afrobeat or whatever you want to call it. I just enjoy watching them on YouTube. And what they've done is they've turned the industry into such an amazing thing. They've become so creative with it. It's working for them. Because you should see them now, they live in amazing homes and they're doing so well and driving their fancy cars. Yes, because they've worked hard for it. And that's what we all need to do. Because you never know what industry you could turn around. The same thing with the Nigerian movie scene. I mean, they call it Nollywood. When this industry started, people were laughing, ha ha ha. Now it's like number 3 in the movie industry. They have, what's the one in America? Hollywood, and then the Indian one, Bollywood, and now Nigerian one, Nollywood. Creativity got it going. So everything we're dealing with, we need to do something about it. We need to stop playing safe. Because that's what stops all of us. That's what stops our creativity. Oh, I don't know. I don't want to make a mistake. Because if I make a mistake, but that's what you need. Mistake is what's going to push you to the level where you want to be. Mistake is what your best teacher is. You don't need to go to no school and start waiting for a teacher to tell you you've done it wrong before you realize that. Because like I say to all of us, all of these fancy schools we go to, all they keep teaching us is theory. They keep teaching us theory. Until you actually dip your hand into it, you don't know what you're doing. Yes, you may hear the name. Yes, you might have heard that somebody did something. Until you are actually in the field dealing with that thing, you don't know which way it's going to turn. And so that's what creativity is. So you need to get your hand dirty. You need to take the risk. You need to stop playing safe. You need to be willing to take it on and deal with the world. And enjoy the time that we have here, because none of us know when. And what we don't want to do, like I keep saying to people, is don't wait until it's too late, then you say to God, you know what, I didn't even know when it was going to happen. I wish you could give me more time. Really? God is not in that business of giving anybody more time. From the day you come out of your mother's womb, the minutes starts to count. The hours start to count. The weeks start to count. The months start to count. The years start to count. And then you now hear, born so date and year, gone so date and year. In between, what happened? In between, what happened is me here chatting with you. I'm telling you things that I know will help. Because I know waiting until that day comes is not the answer. We need to get on with it. We need to be creative. And I hear people say to me, oh, but I've been doing this for so long, I'm bored now. And what stops you from doing something else? What stops you from trying another thing? Because weirdly enough, I was chatting with my daughter the other day, and she said to me, oh Mom, what happens is some people just open their hands to too many things. They take on too much. There's a DVD set I have here called Multiple Streams of Income. You don't have to stay stuck in one thing. If you've done one thing, you know you've flogged it enough, don't overflog it. Add another thing to it, and then add another thing to it, and then add another. You never know which one it will be. Because what could then go wrong is when you keep doing one thing over and over and over, and you're not getting any good result from it. What then happens is you then get fed up with it. You then get what they call lethargy. You get frustrated. Then when you see that thing you used to love, you suddenly hate it because you're not getting that excitement is gone. But see, if you moved on and tried something new, when you then come back to that, it will become exciting again. And so years ago when I started getting a bit lethargic or whatever about what I was doing, I started adding on new things. Now I can happily take on training, because it's become several things. And so I don't feel stuck anymore. So creativity really is about you adding more and more on, trying out different things. And like the Bible said, which I keep trying to bring us back to, go ye and multiply. Let's not disobey God. Especially if you're a Christian. Don't sit back and say, oh, that means let me just go and have 20 children. As men would think. That means multiply by adding more children on. No. Multiply is add more things to what God has created. So like I said, everything we have was created by somebody. So this hair by somebody, this dress by somebody, this jewelry I'm wearing, somebody did it. The shoes I'm wearing, someone created it. Everything about us is creation. So you don't lose out on it, please. Add your creativity in this mix. So don't allow yourself to sit in this mindset where all you do is worry, be fearful, be stressful, be envious, be jealous, being angry. All of those things are what they call negative energy. And what negative energy does is it doesn't give you anything beneficial. So keep asking yourself, anytime you're in any of those modes, is it going to give me anything useful? If it's not, drop it. Move on. So I'm going to really stop here because you know me, I can just go on and on. But what we've done is we've put together a program that we call Ment. And this program is all about mentoring you. Mentoring you, because I've been dealing with this for as long as years ago. I did NLP courses, and then I started reading all these books, and with all my years of experiences and my growing up in Africa, here in the UK for over these years, I've acquired so much experiences and knowledge and ideas that I'm more than happy to share with anyone who wants to listen. So mentoring you in your lifestyle and in your business. So we have all our details in the description box. You can WhatsApp us, you can email us, you can telephone us. And we'll be more than happy to work with you to unleash your creativity, to release your creativity, to allow you actually enjoy this life, this reign, this time and space that we have on this earth, rather than wait until it's too late. So thank you so much for watching, and give us a thumbs up if we're making sense to you or touching you in any form, which we've been getting loads of people contacting us and thanking us. Remember to subscribe. We're on Instagram. Please join us on Instagram because we upload even quicker on Instagram nowadays. Joy Fido. So we look forward to seeing you in the next video, and thank you so much for watching, and God bless you.